Oliver Marc Hartwich is a research fellow with the economics program at the Centre for Independent Studies. He joins me now. Let me start off by asking you, this is the third European country to have to get a bailout in the past year. Is Portugal suffering the same problems as Ireland and Greece, or is it a different situation?
Well, Portugal is suffering kind of the same problems as Greece. Irish problems are a little bit different because in Ireland it was a banking crisis, but what we're seeing in Portugal is very much like Greece, where we see a competitiveness crisis, where we see a crisis of a government that's spending too much and that is incurring wider deficits. So you can't quite compare all these countries, but a similarity is there, that all these countries need money from the other European countries.
Portugal for a while was holding out, saying it didn't need assistance, and now it says it does. I mean, do you suspect that this is also going to be seen, as we've just heard in the previous report, in Spain, that they will also face a similar situation?
Well, we are seeing history repeating, because Greece, if you remember, said for a long time that they didn't need any money, and then it changed overnight. The same story in Ireland, the same story now in Portugal. We'll probably see that in Spain as well. So we're really seeing a car crash in slow motion. We're seeing one country after the other being forced to take some extra funding from Brussels. And I am afraid Portugal is probably not the last country to ask.
Is this a problem with the eurozone in itself?
I think it is a problem with the construction of the euro, because there are many countries now bound together by their common currency, but they're actually quite different, because you have heavyweights, industrial heavyweights like Germany and France, and on the other hand you have some struggling periphery countries like Portugal and Greece, and really to bind them together under one monetary policy was always asking for a disaster.
So the single currency, you think, is not working? You want it to be split up again?
It is certainly not working for Portugal, because if you just see that Portugal actually had some good economic policy results before they joined the euro. Before that, they had some improvements in their productivity. They could actually reform their public finances. They had some good employment results. Once they joined, all of that came to a halt, and actually Portugal didn't really record any positive productivity growth for the last decade.
How realistic is it, though, to think that some of those countries might have to drop the euro as their currency, that the eurozone would be split up again?
Well, in the end, that's a political decision, because the whole euro...
Not much political will for that, I would imagine.
Well, the whole euro project was always a political project. There was never an economic necessity to bind all these countries together. And for that very same reason, they are now sticking together, because the political capital that they invested is huge. And it would be a big embarrassment to European political elites to say, well, actually, we made a mistake. And let's go back a step and perhaps reconsider the whole euro construction. And for that reason, they're sticking together. But economically, it doesn't make sense.
All right. Thank you very much, Oliver Marc Hartwich from the Centre for Independent Studies. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.